Coming up on the last ATV news of the semester.
Hundreds of kids still in need of a toy for Christmas, but right now the shelves are looking pretty empty. I'll show you how nonprofit workers are asking for your help.
There's way more jobs that need to be filled than people to fill them.
We'll show you why Santa's workers may be a little overloaded this season at some of your favorite stores.
The real reason why students get student loans, it's not to pay for tuition and fees.
I'll show you some of the biggest misconceptions about paying tuition and what students are doing to end up deep in debt.
I'll tell you when the snow hits this weekend and how it could help with our drought.
In sports, I'll show you how many dunks the basketball team had and where the football team is headed to play their bowl game.
All that and more, this is ATV News.
We were inside, like cooking inside the kitchen, and then we just heard a big bang and we thought it was our kids.
A driver crashed into this Logan home with a stolen vehicle after Utah Highway Patrol followed him through Sardine Canyon. Welcome to this edition of ATV News. I'm Sarah Murphy.
And I'm JC Caldwell. A man is behind bars after stealing an SUV and crashing into a pole, then a house in Logan. The driver hit the house located near 100 East and 300 South around 5 p.m. on Monday. Troopers say 26-year-old Jamal Malcolm Van Buren stole this black GMC Yukon in Brigham City before driving through Sardine Canyon, where deputies were waiting with spike strips on the other side. Troopers say Van Buren dodged the spikes and kept going north toward Logan on Highway 89. Van Buren hit a pole and then a house across the street.
I was worried and scared. Like I told you guys, there was a lot of smoke coming out from the car, so I didn't know what to do right there. I just wanted to protect my kids.
Troopers say Van Buren then got out of the vehicle and ran. Troopers caught and arrested him 2 blocks from the crash site.
The vehicle is going to be towed and returned to the owner, and yeah, we're glad that nobody was hurt.
Utah Highway Patrol booked Van Buren into Cache County Jail for reckless driving, receiving or transferring a stolen vehicle, failure to stop at the command of police, and other offenses.
Some Cache Valley holiday nonprofits are asking for your help to supply Christmas presents to families in need. I met with 2 groups who say this is the lowest number of donations and volunteers they've ever seen.
I was here on Thanksgiving for 5 hours filling packs.
A busy holiday season.
So there was no sit at home, make dinner, and enjoy the goodness of dinner.
With personal sacrifice that becomes a gift to others.
It's been a really hard year for our family, and so these programs really do matter. And for these parents that are working so hard, it does give us a break to let us know that our kids can still enjoy Christmas.
But it's an impact that volunteers say is becoming trickier to deliver this year.
I would say that we're kind of behind on the amount of gifts compared to previous years.
This is girls 3 to 5, and that area is hurting for toys.
Holiday nonprofit organizations like Cache Valley Toys for Tots and Santa's Secret Gift Shop,
one of the main ways that people can donate, they can go onto our Amazon wish list,
say the amount of donations and volunteers this year is down.
As you can see, we still need a lot of help.
It makes me sad. Some nights it keeps me up at night that I want to help more, but I can't because my hands are tied.
To put things into perspective, Melanie says that at this time last year, each kid was able to get around 4 stocking stuffers. But this year, that number's been cut in half. And now they'll each only receive 2.
People, who were able to help last year are now finding themselves in need this year. So I just think with inflation, grocery prices, rent increases, gas prices, I just think it's been a difficult year all around for a lot of people.
I can barely fill the orders that are coming in because of how bad I'm hurting on toys.
Volunteers say they're wanting to help others like they've been helped themselves.
I was in this predicament, and I was hurting to give my kids a Christmas when I divorced my husband. So this touches my heart.
Both Toys for Tots and Santa's Secret Gift Shop say you can still donate through the end of the month.
During the start of the holiday season, you may see longer lines and slower service at your favorite places. Morgan Perkins joins us live to show us what all these shortages are about. Morgan?
Hey JC, I'm here at Luke's Cafe where they say it's now shut down. Dining services say that it's because of challenges with the new grill. But even before these new challenges, it was only open a couple days a week. And they left a sign saying that it's closed for staffing shortages. People come to Gracie's to enjoy American traditional food. But just a year after opening, growing labor shortages make it hard to keep the restaurant afloat.
People will either show up late or they won't come in at all. And so it just adds to the pressure.
Gracie's is not alone. Utah is ranked one of the lowest for unemployment rates in the nation with 2.1%.
There's way more jobs that need to be filled than people to fill them.
There are 3 jobs per every job seeker. As you can see, even if we fill 1 job, there are still 2 remaining. Now, does this impact our labor shortage? Department of Workforce Services say, with over 75,000 jobs in Utah, they all need to be filled.
It's a great time if you're looking for employment.
We asked USU students if they thought Utah has a labor shortage.
I feel like Utah is actually one of those states where there's really not a super visible labor shortage.
I would say, yeah, Utah has a labor shortage.
It would seem like it by the number of help wanted signs.
Yeah, I do.
They're still looking for people to hire.
That also puts some pressure on employers to make sure that they're providing things for students, including salary, but also an environment that's even more, competitive.
If you're looking for a job or wanting to pick up extra work, there might be something you can find online or by just walking into your favorite store. There are resources not only for students but for community members at the Department of Workforce Services here in Logan. We'll put a link to their website on our Facebook page. Reporting live from Luke's Cafe, Morgan Perkins, ATV News. Back to you, JC.
Thanks, Morgan.
The National Center for Educational Statistics says 40% of college students are also employees. Katie Varga tells us some of the things students do to rack up debt.
Typing away at homework for hours, something some college students know a little too well. But they'll keep studying because of how much they have invested. The National Center for Educational Statistics says that tuition has gone up 18% over the last 10 years.
I'm paying for school by working 2 jobs and student loans. It's pretty expensive for something that we're going to have to do to make money anyways.
Students like Johansen say college is expensive and end up getting loans to cover the costs. So, is it possible to pay for tuition without student loans or a scholarship?
A student can pay for school if they are willing to at least work 20 hours a week during the fall and spring and at least 40 hours a week in the summer. They can actually get through school without scholarships, without Pell Grants, and without any student loans.
Utah minimum wage is $7.25, but Harris says in Cache Valley it's more like $12. Due to labor shortages and the abundance of companies that are willing to pay more than $12 an hour, like Winco.
To truly sit down with their logical prefrontal cortex and say, if I make this much money and if I spend this much every single month, I really could get through school without any student loans.
So why do so many students end up struggling to pay for school?
Because they like to spend a little bit more money on food and fun. And then also the vehicle. If a student chooses to purchase a vehicle, that's where I really see the real reason why students get student loans. It's not to pay for tuition and fees. It's to pay for their car.
Katie Varga, ATV News.
To make an individualized money management plan, visit the Student Money Management Center. Now, you guys, throughout my time in college, I've never worked a full-time job and done school at the same time, but I don't know. How about you guys?
I haven't worked a full-time job either. I have worked part-time actually with you at WIPS, and although that does help pay a little bit for school, I mean, I've seen a lot of, we've both seen college students come in as regulars, and they spent a lot of money even just on soda.
Yeah, I totally get it. I just spent money on a 44-ounce soda just today, and then I'm gonna go to B-Dubs with my gym buddies tomorrow. I gotta watch my money, so I totally get it. And coming up,
so we're great right now, but we got a long way. This is definitely a marathon, not a sprint.
And whether we finally have a head start in our climate's water cycle, I'll let you know if this is the answer to our prayers.
It's a great opportunity just to be able to introduce people to this fascinating, amazing species.
Coming up, we'll show you how Santa's reindeer stay healthy and prepare for Christmas.
In weather, we'll have the 7-day forecast. The current temperature is 26 degrees.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason. Because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome to ATV Weather. I'm Marcus Lamb. Now, we got a lot to cover today, so let's take a look at our national radar. Now, as you can see, we've been having a lot of snow activity over here down south. It's not really too extreme, though. As you can see by the colors right here, green means it's over in the average. So everyone down here in the southern coast and over here down in Texas right here, they're not really getting much. But all of that's moving up towards here, right to the New York area, and heading up into Canada. So it looks like our fellow neighbors to the north are going to get some winter weather, eh? Like they're not used to it already. And over here in Wisconsin, not much is happening, surprisingly. It's just pretty quiet over there. So it's kind of getting boring over here. How about we go and look at the state radar right now? Now, as you can see, we don't really have anything up here in Logan. But down here over south, we're getting some snowy weather coming up our way. So it's starting over down here in St. George, moving all the way up, which is a good thing. It's a very good thing, and I'll explain why in a little bit. But let's take a look at our 7-day radar, my favorite. 7-day forecast. I am very sorry. It's been an off day. Now, over here behind me, as you can see, over on Wednesday, everything's calm and quiet. It's at 27 degrees. But over here on Thursday, we're going to get some sunny and cloudy weather with a high of 31. And we got a lot of snow activity. So Friday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, it's going to get a lot very snowy. And now let's move on to our package. Speaking of snow, we're still in the middle of our 3-year drought, but it looks like our snow is the break that we need. I put on the puffiest coat I had to find out how it's helping us with the drought fight. Utah has had a lot of snow lately, and while it slicks up the roads, it could help end our dry spell.
We're currently looking at about 150% of our snowpack that we normally would have right now. Last year at this time, we were the record worst that we've ever been in about 50 years of observations. So compared to last year, we are way better than we were.
Snow in the valley gets mixed reviews.
I'm always like breaking ice and working in the snow, so bad experiences with snow, it feels like.
I'm from the Central Valley of California, so snow never really happened there.
With climate change, it's getting harder to predict the snow.
We've seen our snowpack accumulation arrive later in the year and end earlier in the year. So just the total number of days where we expect snow accumulation to occur are getting fewer and fewer thanks to climate change and the warming temperatures.
Like the name suggests, snowpack measures the amount of snow on the ground. The snow located on the mountains then thaws come spring. Then rivers and streams take the snow melt down the mountain, ending up in our lakes and reservoirs. Since we had an early start, our water year is off to the races.
We've put a wonderful step forward for the first, month of our snow accumulation season this year. We're in a really good place for this time of year.
So we're finally heading into the snow race. After a 3-year dry spell, Utah will finally get the moisture that so rightly deserves. But how much is enough for a wet spell, and more importantly, will it actually change things? With the levels we're at right now, it could be a while before our lakes fill out.
Looking forward, we expect to flip back into the wet cycle for the middle of the 2020s.
So as you can see, we're not out of the woods quite yet with the drought, but there's more snow coming our way. So let's see if Jack Frost will help out this year, huh?
Alrighty, thanks, Marcus.
Animal shelters are reaching or even going over capacity this holiday season. While you may be on the hunt for gifts for your loved ones, Claire Scott shows us why these full shelters aren't the place to look.
Visiting the Cash Humane Society, you'll find cages full of pets ready for adoption. With Christmas approaching, saving an animal by gifting it can seem like a win-win.
I want a pet for Christmas. Wouldn't that be cool?
Shelter workers say animals like Stormy need a home, but they aren't gifts.
When you adopt an animal from here, you're getting, the microchip registered to your name, you're getting all of the records.
So not only would it be hard to find the owner if the pet were lost,
We would have none of the correct information.
but the animal may not be a good fit for the home you're gifting it to.
The animal getting gifted to someone else and maybe they didn't want it is not good for the animal or the person,
So cute.
So Angus here wouldn't be the best Christmas gift, but what if someone wanted to adopt him for themselves?
Go for it. Adopt anytime you want. Whenever you're ready, you do it.
If you do have to return an animal after adopting, Strickland says it's not the end of the world.
We always encourage people to bring their dogs back or their cats.
When you're adopting, it can be tempting to buy younger puppies or kittens like this, but employees at the Cash Humane Society say there are benefits to buying older.
They've already got their things, so we know they're good with cats, we know they're good with dogs, we know that they're good with kids, we know that they're already house trained.
Strickland says adopting can be easy. Just make sure you're adopting for the right reasons and for yourself.
Those animals get a chance at a new life, and it really helps them out and helps us out too.
Claire Scott, ATV News.
Strickland says no one should be discouraged from adopting during the holiday season. She says even if you end up returning your pet, at least they had a home for Christmas.
Do you have Christmas fever? If so, please stand at least 6 feet from any reindeer. Johansen visited the Reindeer Express to see how veterinarians are keeping Santa's ride healthy.
Santa's reindeer are a bit curious, just like families coming to the Reindeer Express to learn more about veterinary science.
This is a reindeer named Cupid. She's 12 years old. She's a female. And we brought her up here to what's called the Reindeer Express. That is a fundraiser for the veterinary school.
Veterinary students came to show visitors how Santa's reindeer get their checkups before making the trip around the world.
We're just here to educate the community about veterinary medicine and reindeer. Obviously, Christmas is coming around and Santa needs to get his reindeer all certified so that they can cross all sorts of international borders.
Reindeer weren't the only animals the Reindeer Express had for the night.
There were 3 baby calves, a horse and a donkey, and a gigantic camel.
Proceeds from the Reindeer Express go towards scholarships for USU veterinary students. So by coming out and seeing these reindeer, you're helping paying for someone's college.
I'm really glad that I got selected for it. It was a lot of fun getting to handle, and I even got to touch a reindeer today.
For Bott, teaching people about reindeer is how he gets into the holiday spirit.
There's just something magical of Christmas time and seeing people when they first encounter a reindeer. Reindeer have a big part in Christmas legend and myth, and it's a species that really has a really important part in human history. Some of the oldest cave drawings that we have are of caribou and reindeer.
Johansen, ATV News.
Bot says Cupid and Comet, the 12 and 14-year-old reindeer, are in perfect health to pull Santa's sleigh this year.
And thank goodness, because there are only 18 days until Christmas.
And only 20 days until Utah State plays in its bowl game. Coming up.
Looking for Funk, decides to keep it himself, drives into lane, leaves it for Dorius.
Yeah,
Dorius
these are
pump fake,
7-0. I'll tell you where Utah State finds itself in the national rankings.
and I'm actually an engineer. I just do this for fun.
And we'll show you how music brought students and the community together for the holidays.
Everyone's very stressed.
We'll show you some healthy ways you can manage your stress with finals week just around the corner.
The surplus store. Someone's trash is about to be my treasure.
We have cords and cables here. We have bags full of towels and sheets. Do you want this fold-up mattress? Because we don't.
We got keyboards, paint cans, whatever this is, typewriters, computer monitors.
It's destiny on the line, and we want you at surplus.
Products are not guaranteed to work. All sales are final. This commercial is not endorsed by Utah State.
Looking for Funk, decides to keep it himself, drives into the lane, leaves it for Dorius. Dorius pump fake, and then the two-handed dunk. Great job being
Welcome
patient
to
and waiting
ATV
for-
Sports. I'm Noah Giles. We've got a few more dunks to show you, so let's hop right into the action. USU guard Stephen Ashworth stepped up in a big way for Rylan Jones, who left early in the game with a concussion. Ashworth hit 3 after 3, including this shot fake to send Utah Tech's Dancel Letter airborne. Ashworth hit 3 3-pointers in the first half and 7 total in the game. Taylor Funk was also in on the 3-point shootout, hitting 2 of his own in the first half. This one coming off a Dan Akin block right here. Funk shows off the handle, going through his legs, driving up the court, and eventually pulling up for 3. Funk had 12 points to lead the Aggies in the first half. Now you might be thinking, did Utah Tech even show up? And to that I tell you, yes they did. Senior guard Cameron Gooden gave the Aggies the business in the first half, putting up 20 points, including that step back 3. Gooden was getting his shots from wherever he wanted here, driving into the lane, spinning, and then hitting the nice floater over the defender. Gooden scoring carried Utah Tech into the break with some momentum. He led all scorers at halftime with the game tied at 36. Ashworth picked up his 4th foul after hitting this 3 and had to sit on the bench. That's when Taylor Funk entered the chat and said, "Don't worry, Steven, I got this." Funk drove down the lane, flipped that pass to Akin for the dunk, and put the Aggies up. And then a few possessions later, he finds Akin again. He's not just getting it done on offense, but on defense as well. Funk blocked this shot from Gooden out of bounds and wagged his finger to say, "Not today. Let him know, Mr. Funk." Ashworth hit another 3-pointer after that to seal the win for the Aggies, 86-81. The USU men's team also played San Francisco this week in the Chase Center and handled business, beating the Dons 82-64. The Aggies are 7-0 and shooting the lights out. The team is 7th in the nation in scoring at 87 points per game. They're 2nd in 3-point percentage, 4th in 3-pointers made per game, and 6th in assists per game. Stephen Ashworth is red hot from behind the 3-point line, shooting the ball at an eye-popping 53.8%. That's good enough for 4th in the nation. Taylor Funk is shooting 50% from 3, and that puts him at 13th in the nation. Ashworth and Funk are 3rd and 4th respectively in 3-pointers made per game at 4 and 3.7. They're one of 12 unbeaten teams in Division I, so show them some love, voters. The U.S. women's basketball team played Utah Valley earlier this week, and it was a back-and-forth affair. The Aggies hit the Wolverines in the mouth to start the game as USU sophomore guard Olivia Wickstrom hit 2 threes and pushed Utah State out to a 10-2 lead. Wickstrom is 3rd on the team in scoring, averaging 11.3 points per game. USU led for most of the first half, but the Aggies came back in the 3rd quarter after a couple of and ones to make the score 37-34. The Aggies' leading scorer Maria Carvalho hit 2 threes in the 4th quarter, one of them off this scramble here to put the Aggies up 8. Carvalho hit 5 threes in this game. UVU went on a 7-0 run with this 3-pointer here, and then following the turnover by Tamia Robinson, UVU gets a wide open layup on the breaks to cut the Aggies' lead to 1. USU freshman guard Natalie Fraley hits this 3-pointer late in the game to give the Aggies a little bit of breathing room and put them up 8. Fraley then iced the game, blocking this 3-pointer with Abby Wall getting the rebound to give the Aggies the win 65-55. The women's team also played BYU this week but lost 64-54, ending USU's in-state win streak. USU men's hockey team had Montana State in town this week, and even though we had 2 chances to beat them, the Aggies fell 2-1 and 7-2. Women's volleyball was in Oregon for the first round of the NCAA tournament, but came up short against Arkansas, getting swept 3-0. The USU football team is playing in the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl in Texas. The game is December 27th. The Aggies have played in 15 bowl games and won 6 of them. And that's going to be a wrap for me here with the sports. Back to you at the desk, Sarah.
Thanks, Noah. USU students welcome the community for their final holiday concert of the fall semester. Crescendo started off the USU Symphonic Band's holiday-themed concert. The concert welcomed the Cash Wind Symphony, a group that brings together members of the community who share a love for music and playing in a concert band.
I'm actually an engineer. I just do this for fun. And there was a break of about 20 years between college, or playing in the college band, and coming back for community band. And it was somewhat easier than I expected. And it was very worthwhile.
The Fall Symphonic Band only performs once a semester, but the Spring Symphonic Band has 2 concerts next spring.
It's Dead Week at Utah State, otherwise known as No Test Week on the academic calendar. The CAPS office hosted a stress bus to help students relax before their exams. Paige Johnson shows us what they say the best way to relax is.
Oh, hi little dog! Petting the therapy dogs and making arts and crafts were the most popular activities at the CAPS Stress Bus. Students learned about healthy ways to deal with their stress.
There's a million things that every student has to do, whether it's working or school, friends and social life. Taking care of yourself is just hard.
As finals week gets closer, students say they're getting more anxious to take their finals. Taylor Levitt says that she struggles with her nerves before her tests.
I'll walk before my test, kind of like de-stress, get some fresh air before I have to sit there for a while.
Culp says if you're feeling tense, taking time for yourself needs to be a priority.
My favorite way to relieve stress is to stretch.
The American Psychological Association says that younger people are more likely to hit the gym, but once they're feeling stressed, they're actually the least likely to go. In that case, there are plenty of other ways to relieve stress.
I'm gonna have you guys put a hand on your chest and a hand on your belly.
Focused breathing is a quicker way to relax your muscles when you can't stretch.
And again, in, 2, 3.
Deep breathing helps reset your fight or flight response by telling your body there's no danger.
And as the wave rolls into the beach, we're gonna breathe in.
It's just a good opportunity to slow down and do something that's mindful and something that will break up your schedule.
Paige Johnson, ATV News.
Students can schedule counseling sessions with the CAPS office for anything from managing stress to mental health issues. You can find a link to their website on our Facebook page.
The magic of Christmas can come in many ways. A benefit concert last Friday brought the Christmas spirit to Nibley. Ringing bells helped people get in the giving mood at the concert. Organizers gathered funds from community members to provide fabric to make dresses in Uganda.
I know that some of the girls, this is the only piece of clothing they own, and it's so valuable to them. It's so precious, and just to see how they hold on to that and cling to that and how it just fills them with hope is just such an incredibly moving thing.
People played and sang familiar Christmas tunes, bringing others together and inviting the spirit of giving. Well, thanks for joining us on this edition of ATV News. You can find this and other editions on our Facebook page.
And we'd like to extend a special thank you to our graduating seniors, Kayla Peterson and Sarah Murphy.
Have a great week, Cache Valley.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
I believe.
I believe that.
I believe that we.
I believe that we will make a difference.
We will treat everyone with respect. We will stop violence of every kind on campus.
We will build each other up and not tear each other down.
We will know where to get help when a friend is struggling.
We will value the dignity in every person.
We will stand up to protect our Aggie family.
How you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Thank you.
place to make my own, a place that I call home, this place that I call home.